to revolutionize the academic standard of various secondary schools. Margaret Okunlola reports that state government functionaries at the event pleaded to ensure quality of leadership in schools towards remodeling the leaders of tomorrow. Our report.
To uphold the ethics of the profession.
Officially inducted were those 108 principals posted to secondary schools across the state to oversee and coordinate their administration in academic affairs. In his address, the chairman of the Ogun State Teaching Service Commission, Evangelist Olalekon Ifedi, charged the inductees to take the bull by the horns at ensuring that the best education is established in the state. As to whom much is given, much is expected.
The Teaching Service Commission will continue to be actively involved in the enforcement of the professional ethics, fairness, equity, justice, and applaud good performance with viable motivational measures and be responsible to all the statutory duties so as to reposition our public secondary schools for better academic achievements.
The State Teaching Service Commission, zonal secretaries, representatives of all Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools, ASUS, Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, principals general from the 4 divisions in the state, among other functionaries, gave counsels in various capacities to the newly inducted principals.
Being a principal is to be a leader, which calls for dedication, commitment, and hard work. There are so many problems that we face that we will meet on the ground, or challenges that will crop up. You must be ready to provide solutions to those challenges. So you need to be a solution provider. Wherever you are posted, don't feel bad. Believe that God has a purpose where you are posted to that place.
The State Secretary of ANCOPS, Mr. Murakin Oshoriola, also challenged them to set the ball rolling according to the pace of the already established standard. The newly inducted principals said they are ready for the task ahead.
We are going to be a committed one, a dutiful principal, diligent in our service.
This present seat of the Teaching Service Commission, they are efficient, they are straightforwardness, they follow the truth.
The inductees have been posted to various secondary schools across the state to resume duty on the 1st of August, 2022. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
Still on education, Ogun State Institute of Technology, OGTech, IGBESA, held its convocation ceremony for the 2020-21 academic session. A total of 2,712 students were awarded national diplomas and higher national diploma certificates at the ceremony held at the Prince Dakpo Abiodun Lecture Theatre. Shiyalawu has the rest of the story.
The occasion is the 5th since the establishment of the institution, and it featured graduating students from the School of Engineering Technology, Business and Management, Environmental, Pure and Applied Sciences, Financial Management, and Communication and Information Technology. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dakpo Abiodun, represented by Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Yedele, commended the graduating students for their diligence and dexterity during their pursuit. She added that the state remains committed to providing qualitative education for children in the state.
To acknowledge with appreciation to God that this polytechnic and its sister ICT institutions at Sharpade, Itori, and the Petrochemical Institute at Oni, Ogun Waterside have continued to deliver excellently on the purpose of their establishment. I congratulate all the award winners and prize winners, and especially congratulate the best graduating student, Ms. Aminat Aderuke Aderuga from the Department of Chemistry. And as is the custom of this government, Ms. Adenuga will be offered employment here in OGTech immediately after completion of her NYSC. also receive a cash gift of 1 million naira from the state government.
In her address, the rector of OGTV, Dr. Olufunke Akekurolere, stated that the institution had achieved rapid growth and development, particularly in the areas of academic programs, research, infrastructural and human resources development. She then urged the graduating students to function effectively in the society and continue to be good ambassadors of the institution.
On behalf of OGTV community, I advise you to endeavor to build, repackage, and deliver yourselves for enviable opportunities in the competitive world you are in.
Guest speaker, Professor Olugbenga Aribisala of Ekiti State University, spoke on the topic Sustainable National Development through Entrepreneurship and Technology. Aribisala said it is necessary to guide the graduating students on how to create wealth for themselves as they proceed to another phase of life. A total number of 42 students bagged distinctions, while Aminat Adenuga from Chemistry Department emerged as overall best student of the 2020-2021 set with a 3.94 CGPA.
This is going to make a very big breakthrough in my life and in my brother's life. I'm very grateful to the kind gestures, and I'm super grateful.
And amidst financial constraints and the loss of my mother, so I feel today has been destined by God, and hard work, consistency, spontaneity paid off.
Another highlight of the occasion was the commissioning of a modern lecture theatre for the students. Sheyi Halao, OGTV News.
The National Youth Service Corps has reviewed the parade for 4,446 Batch A Stream 1 Corps members in Ogun State. The outgoing Corps members during the parade were charged to imbibe the ideals of hard work, unity, and entrepreneurial skills inculcated during their one-year compulsory service to their fatherland. Our reporter, Tomininu Babashola, covered the event held at the MKU Abiola Stadium, Kuto, Abeokuta. Our report is presented in this package.
The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has remained a viable, important instrument for grassroots-oriented development since the commencement of the scheme on May 22, 1973. This was brought to the fore with 4,446 2021-2022 Corps members in Ogun State diligently and successfully completing 12-month mandatory service to their fatherland. The State Governor, Prince Dr. Abiodun, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Engineer Olayiwola Abiodun, commended the exiting Corps members for exhibiting true acts of patriotism and contributing to the Building Our Future Together agenda, promising that the state will continue to focus on youth-oriented programs.
My message is for you all. You are now entering into a new role in life, one that will further call to task training, knowledge, skills, talents, and discipline garnered in school and in the last 1 year of your national service.
The State NYSC Coordinator, Mrs. Winifred Ngozi Shokweka, in our farewell messages admonished the outgoing Corps members to continually display the spirit of humility, dedication, and service to humanity whenever they find themselves.
Advise you continue with and grow whatever skills you acquired through the NYSC Skills Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development Initiative. You will utilize the right idea and skills acquired to create wealth and job opportunities for others.
Some of the Corps members shared their experiences and expectations.
Well, my experience so far, number one, leadership. I was able to learn about leadership, how to manage people better, and also business skills. I was part of the side class. I was part of several parts of this. I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship and also leadership, basically. It has been awesome for me, sincerely.
I expect greatness. I expect good opportunities. Please let me mingle with my colleagues and all.
So far, the experience has not been easy. You know, there was stress. It was starting from the camp itself. It hasn't been easy, but thank God that at least finally we made it.
Certificates were presented to the outgoing Corps members, with certificate of recognition being presented to 2 outstanding Corps members.
Meanwhile, the National Youth Service Corps has described as an untrue report that some 21 female corps members have been raped during an attack carried out on Wednesday by thieves. The scheme confirmed that, the contrary to reports, no bodily harm was meted on them and no corps members was raped. The Akwa Ibom State Coordinator of NYSC, Chinyere Ekwe, made the clarification in a statement obtained by journalists in Abuja on Thursday. She said in the said story making the rounds, it was alleged that gunmen attacked, raped, robbed, and dispossessed corps members of their valuables at Udo Ekong Ekwe Street, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, where they reside. To put the unfortunate incident in proper perspective, the state coordinator, NYSC Akwa Ibom State, Chinyere Ekwe, in the company of the State Police Commissioner Olatoye Durosimi, visited the corps members for an on-the-spot assessment. Ogun State House of Assembly has acknowledged the receipt of a correspondence from the state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, requesting for the screening and approval of some commissioners of statutory commission in the state. Speaker Oluomo, acknowledged the receipt during a plenary held at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta, noted that the request, according to the letter, was to improve the quality of service delivery to the good people of the state. Correspondent Kolawole Osho covered the plenary, and his report is presented in his package.
Acknowledging the receipt of Governor's correspondence on the commissioner nominees, Speaker Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo said Governor Abiodun requested for the confirmation of nominees listed for appointment as members of statutory commissions.
The dates attached to the letter are 1. Mr. Adele Joseph Adimola, Teaching Service Commission. 2. Honorable Onodepo Onomusi, House of Service Commission. 3. Prince Additional Yola David, Judicial Service Commission. And 4. Honorable Adedayo Rudy, Judicial Service Commission.
In another development, Speaker Oluomo called on parents, community leaders, and security agencies to put an end to the menace of cultism in the state and consequently save the future of the nation from hooliganism and chaos. Oluomo stated this in his response to the submission of a member representing Odeda State Constituency, Honorable Elemide Oludaisi, who spoke under personal explanation during the plenary. Oluomo charged parents and guardians as well as community leaders not to abandon their responsibilities, but do more in checking their words to curb the menace currently disrupting the peace of the state.
This issue of cultism is becoming a recurrent decision in our state. I want to appeal to our security agents, all agencies are handling security in our state, with special emphasis on the police, to please be professional enough in tackling this menace.
Oluomo also commiserated with the entire family of Comrade Sunday Ogunjimi and the Teaching Service Commission on the demise of the labor leader who lost his life during the last labor struggle in the state. He then appealed to all residents and workers of Ogun State to always be conscious of their health status to avert untimely death. A minute silence was observed in honor of the deceased.
The chairman, Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, OGTV, Mr. Babatunde Oshibodu, has said that there is need for the review of state electoral law to address some gray areas entrenched in the present law in the country. Oshibodu made this known in Joga, Iboru, Ward 5, Yewa North Local Government, during a sensitization visit to traditional rulers of their communities in the area on the forthcoming councillor by-election. He said the by-election became imperative due to the death of the councillor representing the ward, Honorable Isiaka Ogundele.
This is a different kind of by-election from the normal one. Normally, there will be a ballot paper that will name each of the parties. In this case, only one party has come out as contesting, and that's the APC. Our law says when only one party comes out, we should do a different format, not the usual election. So as a result, what we're doing is we have the ballot box, the ballot paper is simply APC.
The chairman called for the support of the traditional rulers in sensitizing their subjects on what to expect on the election day, slated for Thursday, July 14, 2022, adding that a candidate must score 50% of total vote cast before he can be declared winner of the election. In their separate responses, the Abeokuta of Jogarile, Oba Adeyemi Adekeye, the Aboro of Iboru, Oba Daniel Sarako, and the Abutako of Ijako, Oba Matthew Iwedairu, commended OGSEC for its transparency, promising to give necessary support in the areas of sensitization and maximum security during the poll. The Labour Party LP will on Friday unveil Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed as the running mate of Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the party in the 2023 elections. Senator Baba Ahmed, who is in his 40s, is the proprietor of Bayes University, Abuja, and Baba Ahmed University, Kano. The unveiling of the vice presidential candidate was initially slated for Thursday to be done by the LP's presidential candidate at the party's national secretariat, Abuja. However, the national chairman of the party, Barrister Julius Abure, said that the ceremony could not go ahead as planned because the presidential candidate, who had traveled to Maiduguri and expected back in Abuja Thursday afternoon, had his flight cancelled. He announced that the unveiling of Mr. Obi's running mate was rescheduled for Friday, July 8 at the party's headquarters, Abuja. The federal government has declared Monday, July 11 and Tuesday, July 12, 2022 as public holidays to mark this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration. Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated all Muslims and Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora, on this occasion. This was contained in a statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Shuaib Bagore, on Thursday and made available to newsmen in Abuja. He called on Muslims to continue to imbibe the spirit of love, peace, kindness, and sacrifice as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and to also use the period to pray for peace, unity, prosperity, and the stability. The minister assured Nigerians that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to the security of lives and properties of all Nigerians. Over 940 Kano intending pilgrims may miss the 2022 Hajj exercise as they are still stranded at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport due to lack of aircrafts. The Executive Secretary of the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Abba Dambata, speaking with newsmen, he explained that the situation was sad as the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria had failed to honor a rescue mission arrangement for the past 2 days. Dambata said Asman aircraft with 400 passengers capacity departed Kano with only 250 intended pilgrims, leaving on ground over 940 pilgrims with the state officials. The United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed, at the launch of the State of Food Security and Nutrition World Report, says efforts at reaching Sustainable Development Goal 2 are proven insufficient in the face of a more challenging and uncertain context, making the figures compelling and outrageous. The state of food security and nutrition in the world as at February 2022 report indicates that world hunger rose further in 2021 with between 708 and 824 billion people facing hunger. Almost 3.1 billion people could not afford a healthy diet and not on track to achieve the global nutrition target. These statistics indicate that, in many ways, the intensification of the major drivers of food security and malnutrition were not addressed. You're watching OGTV News. It's time for some business stories, and of course, Adebola Oshomodi is standing by. Over to you, Adebola.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, has said the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, has introduced incentives to grow reserves. The Commission also said the act aimed to increase the country's daily production towards attaining 40 billion barrels and 220 TCF of oil and gas reserves. It said the incentives would also enable the country to attain a production target of 3 million barrels per day. The Commission's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, spoke yesterday in Abuja at the 21st Nigerian Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition tagged Funding the Nigerian Energy Mix for Sustainable Economic Growth. The African insurance market has reached a value of $75.3 billion in 2021, up from about $70 billion as of 2020, despite the impact of COVID-19. A report by IMAC Group has shown. Looking forward, IMAC expects the market to reach $115.9 billion by 2027, exhibiting a compound annual growth rate of 7.4% from 2022 to 2027. The group's projection in the percent research is that the market is poised for astronomical growth between 2021 to 2025. Conscious effort, however, will have to be made to achieve such growth. Meanwhile, the African Insurance Organization AIO 2022 annual report stated that the insurance market in Africa has evolved over the years and without any equivocation contributes significantly to the growth and development of the continent. The Director General, Federation Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Babatunde Irukwera, said the Commission has been working with the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NESMA, and other stakeholders to resolve consumer issues. Represented by the Commissioner of Operations, Adamu Abdullahi Irukwera, said the Commission is working with NAC on some policies and regulations to assuage customers' pains. The DG spoke during a town hall meeting with electricity consumers in Maba, Abuja, stating that one of the measures is the keeping of estimated bills. He noted that over the years, non-compliance with NAC regulations, orders, codes, and standards of performance remains the bane of the industry. And lastly, the domestic runway of the Murtala Muhammed Airport, Lagos, will be completely closed for 3 months to enable some repairs and installation of airfield lighting to be done. The development means that international and local airlines will use the international runway for landing and takeoff during 3 months. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria confirmed the runway closure in a statement titled Airfield Lighting Installation Fund to Close Domestic Runway. The statement adds that as part of efforts aimed at improving safety and efficiency of flight operations at the Murtala Muhammed Airport, Lagos, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has concluded arrangements to complete the installation of Cat 3 airfield ground lighting system on runway. The project, which will commence effectively on Friday, July 8, 2022, is expected to last for 90 days. And that was business news. Back to Ito for the rest of our bulletin.